Good evening. It was decided to do an event in Dubai on the 23rd of September. It was a Friday. By popular demand, we have shifted this event to 24th September, the Saturday, so that it would be convenient for you people to attend. So I'll be in Dubai on the 24th of September at 6 p.m. Hope to see you in Dubai. Those desirous of participating in the Dubai event can contact us at the WhatsApp number given below or mail to the email ID given below. We will see you in Dubai. Kindly drop us an email or send a message on the WhatsApp number. Good evening. As we did with Dubai, we decided to move the event in Abu Dhabi also by one day to Saturday, so that instead of 30th September, we'll have the event on 1st October. So I will see you in Abu Dhabi on the 1st of October. Those living in Abu Dhabi need not take the pain of traveling to Dubai. We will see you in Abu Dhabi on the 1st of October. Those who want to see me in Abu Dhabi may drop us an email at the address given below or contact us by the WhatsApp number that flashes below. My team will get in touch with you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today we're going to talk about Figma. I made news recently. Figma has been bought over by Adobe for $20 billion in cash and stock. What is Figma? Figma is basically an online web-based web application to help you do vector editing and do photo editing collaboratively in real time or approximately to real time. And they've been bought over by Adobe. Anand is going to talk about a little bit about Peter Thiel and about that aspect of it. I just want to say why Adobe has jumped into this, because Adobe has been facing a lot of stiff competition over the last, I would say, decade, with a lot more web-based technology coming in, web-based apps coming in, and most of the photo editing and video editing moving on to mobile apps, and so much of apps there. Adobe has been finding it hard and the competition very stiff. And as photography has been going on the wayside more and more, as Instagram has become, softwares like Instagram have become on the wayside, and videos become the mainstay for everybody, and that too short editing videos, not even long editing videos. The main platforms such as Premiere, After Effects, and Photoshop are under enormous pressure. There's not many people who are adopting it, not many people who are learning it anymore as it used to be before, where you could build a career around learning Adobe software and Adobe environment. Is not there anymore because content creators are doing it on their mobile apps. So this is the main reason Adobe is trying to capture the imagination of the next generation by buying into Figma and moving closer to a platform-based, from a platform-based to a web-based editing. This is what the basic thing behind Adobe is, what I feel on it.
But Adobe has already moved to cloud.
Yeah, it's moved to cloud, but the software editing is not like Microsoft Office. You can completely use Office now based on your browser. Adobe is trying to get to that. Buying Figma is the process of doing that.
But I thought Adobe only one person can work on the software one time.
Yeah.
I think Figma allows many people to work at the same time.
I've not used Figma, but that's what I would say. Yes, you're right.
Right. So Figma is a more collaborative software and really took off during this lockdown because you had people at different places.
Correct.
So whereas in Photoshop you had to be at the same place to work together.
Yes.
So
Adobe took too much time, as you rightly said, to come into that realm. Well, Figma jumped in.
Yeah. So basically Figma is a software where you can, for 4 or 5 people in different locations can work together.
And also the learning curve for Figma is very easy compared to something like a Photoshop or a Premiere or any of the other softwares. Being a creator using Figma is much easier compared to any of the other softwares.
Okay. But the man behind Figma is a man called Dylan Fields.
Yeah, Dylan Fields.
Dylan Fields.
Him and a partner called Evan Wallace.
Evan Wallace. These are young kids. They are only about 30.
Yeah.
And the story behind Fields is that his parents bought him a computer when he was 3 years old.
True.
And basically he taught his parents how to operate a computer. So basically this is the generation which grew with computers.
Yes.
So they have absolute feel for it. They know exactly how to make it more intuitive, how to make it more, the human interface between computers and humans, they have made it very easy. That's what I think he is done. And he basically was an average student, they say, and he didn't get into the university of his choice, so he went to another famous American university
Brown
called
University.
Brown University. He didn't get to a university of his choice.
No.
I don't know what was that was. And basically, when he was in Brown, he heard of this Peter Thiel Foundation
Yes.
fellowship. What is the Peter Thiel fellow? Peter Thiel is an eccentric libertarian
Investor.
investor,
Or speculator.
speculator, iconoclast. Basically, he is behind PayPal. He merged with two companies to form PayPal, became friends with Elon Musk, another eccentric person, and then they were behind Facebook, PayPal, Facebook, and many such companies. There's a planetarium or planet company which does military defense, software,
Correct.
and all those
Yes.
stuff. So he is a serial investor, and he also dabbles in politics. He funds people to fight law cases. He does all kinds of eccentric stuff.
Yeah.
And he thinks using his money, he can influence politics. I think he was involved in Cambridge Analytica also.
Yes. He likes to imagine that he can shape and steer society
Yeah.
into what he
In
feels.
his direction, and he's an extremely intelligent person, a very high level chess player also.
Yeah. But he
No.
identifies himself as a Republican, if I'm not
No, he says he's a libertarian.
libertarian.
He's basically a troublemonger. He's the guy who backed Trump and put America in a spot.
You have people in his
his
realm who believe his whatever.
Merker.
Yeah,
There are other
I
two
agree.
things.
I agree with what you're saying.
And they wanted chaos anyway.
Yeah.
Now, one of his most radical things is kids can apply for fellowship, and he would give them $100,000 to start a business. The condition being you have to drop out of college.
True.
So he was bribing people to drop out of college, and he has a batch. X number of guys he backs every year.
Yes.
So one of those guys who have become very successful after going into Peter Thiel's fellowship is this guy, Dan Fields.
Dan Fields, sorry.
He dropped out of Brown University. Initially, he started some other company, I forget what it is, which he quickly folded up because there was no traction. Then he came up with this. And this company grew rapidly fast. This Irving Wallace quit quickly last year because he burnt out, he could not live long enough with this company as it grew. And Dan Fields still has a lot of stake in this company,
Yes.
a substantial stake.
True.
And he actually wanted to do an IPO. He could not do an IPO because the tech conditions went for the worse. And then what happened is, so he looked at a merger, and this merger news has come. And he has agreed to continue with Figma for 4 more years. And
Yes.
Adobe has given him stock options of another 1.8 billion.
True.
So he will land up with about $4 billion if this deal goes through, and he fulfills his part of the bargain. And people like Larry Ellison and others who are part of Harvard School are basically saying Peter Thiel is spoiling kids by doing this work. So this is the first real big success
Of whatever this venture he's tried.
after what Peter Thiel has tried. The room Adobe is run by an Indian American
Correct.
whom we would like to call Indian but is not an Indian,
Yes.
Shantanu Narayan. And Shantanu Narayan is the guy who turned around Adobe.
Yes.
That is, he took it to the cloud and he made it into this monthly subscription model.
Correct.
But Adobe has lost out quite a bit to these new softwares which you have said.
Correct.
And so when Adobe paid in part in stock and cash for this company, the deal has not yet gone through. The price of Adobe stock fell by 18%
Yes.
because they felt they could not justify it.
Correct.
If this deal is pushed through, Dan Fields says that if the deal does not go through, he doesn't mind.
Yes.
But this company is now valued 2 times what it was valued in this last round of funding.
Correct.
So it was valued
They're
at
paying
10.
pretty high premium for it.
They are paying 20
lot
in
of
a
investors
monetary
have already
tight in an era where monetary tightening is happening.
Correct.
Adobe is playing a lot for it.
Correct.
But Shantanu himself is saying that this is worth it because this is the future, and Adobe is taking too much time to come into this, and they may
Yes,
get
that's
wiped
what I
out.
don't understand. My failure to understand is, like you rightly said, Adobe is already ventured into this. They may have quite a few good apps. They need to work further on it, and maybe they can do it in-house. I don't know. I can't understand why
Maybe it's the time.
Maybe.
Because
Because I
in
don't
technology
see-
moves very fast.
Yeah, and
But
but
I
not
was
as
like
Figma. This
I was explaining to you yesterday. Like Windows, I'm used to Windows, but I don't think I will ever use Internet Explorer again.
correct.
So the window moves very fast,
True.
and Adobe does not want to get killed. But imagine somebody else, Microsoft buys this guy, and it can kill Adobe.
True.
That's what it did to NetWare.
True.
There was a network company called NetWare, which was wiped out by Windows NT.
True. But
So Adobe may be fearing its own survival.
yes, but Figma only has like a active user base of around 4 million.
No, the
So-
problem is the future. If the network effect kicks in, and everybody, it's going to take a drop of a hat for people to move from Adobe to Figma. In 3 years, Adobe is dead. Like that's what happened to NetWare.
Yeah, but historically we have seen companies also make these mistakes.
No, but
Yahoo,
Figma is
Yahoo's a big mistake.
Yahoo should have bought Google when it didn't buy.
Yes.
So that was a big mistake. If
Then
Yahoo
someone
had
went
bought
and bought Yahoo. No.
they bought finance and they bought it separately.
Yeah.
And they bought the Alibaba stake separately, was spun off.
Yes.
The guy who bought Yahoo spun off Alibaba, separated
He
Yahoo
stripped it down,
finance
yes.
separately, stripped it and sold it.
True.
If Yahoo had bought Google,
Would have been a different story.
it would have been a story. And you have this Satya Nadella prowling to buy. He's bought LinkedIn and
He's bought Activision.
He's bought Activision. And why won't he buy this for 20
This
billion?
chicken feed for him.
He's chicken and he follows this
Yeah.
and sets it up as a division against
Adobe.
Adobe. And
Microsoft has always been gunning for Adobe. That is true.
Yeah.
Historically, they've been trying.
So imagine if Figma is bought by Satya Nadella
Yeah.
and he puts oodles of cash into it. Adobe is in serious defense.
Maybe that's why.
Serious.
Maybe it's a defensive buy.
It's a Pac-Man defense.
True.
You don't allow Microsoft to buy Adobe, to buy Figma.
Could be.
Figma under
That makes sense. That I would
Microsoft.
say, yes, if it's a defensive play, yes.
It is defensive, it
Because
is obvious.
historically, you're right. Microsoft has always been gunning for Adobe.
See, look, if the Activision Blizzard deal had not happened, if Microsoft has $75 billion, buy $20 billion in cash for this, put more money and release it on Adobe, and Adobe would be in serious trouble.
Yeah, Microsoft can buy this and offer it for free.
Then what will happen to Adobe?
True. True. It's an interesting time to look at them.
So it's a Pac-Man defense.
Next few years is going to be an interesting time in all these software environments. We have to see how these old behemoths like Adobe, Corel, and Microsoft.
And I think Adobe has bought a get out of jail card for another 4 years. They have got 3 years time.
Let's see what they do with it.
Okay. Thank you for watching Be Rich. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button of my channel, turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time we put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.